If I were to show you this single piece of an 1,000-piece puzzle, would you be able to tell me what the whole picture looks like? You would probably have no idea that it looks like this. The same concept applies to the college admissions process. People do not just have one puzzle piece to their personality and intellect, but countless factors making them who they are. And the college admissions tests are just one piece in this puzzle. Now, college admissions counselors have begun to rely so much upon this one piece instead of looking at all of the factors, which has been detrimental to students. But before discussing if college entrance examination scores are accurate predictors of college performance, there are some terms which must be defined. First, college entrance examinations, also known as college admissions tests. These tests are intended to create level grounds for all students of various backgrounds and schools. Holistic. Holistic looks at the whole idea or student and does not just analyze specific parts. By analyzing specific parts, such as the test scores in the college admissions process, it leaves students in detriment to what they could potentially succeed in college. Now, these tests began over a century ago in 1901 with students coming in and sitting down to take these tests for the very first time. While these tests once measured aptitude, they have transitioned into measuring critical thinking in hopes to better predict success. The evolution of these tests has been slow, but it has also been significant. Compared to the 1901 number of people taking these tests, the population has skyrocketed due to the increasing importance placed upon these tests. Therefore, the college entrance examination scores are not accurate predictors of college performance. They are discriminatory. One can determine how a student will perform on these tests before they even sit down to take it. If this is the case, is it really fair? Bruce Webb, the author of an article on standardized testing in the Encyclopedia of Race and Racism, says that these are valid tests, but the problem comes with how they are used. College admissions counselors have begun to rely so much upon these tests that they have left other factors that may have been better predictors of success for students behind. These tests are also discriminatory against different socioeconomic realms. A test was done by researchers Morgan and Watson, looking at how students performed on these tests and where they lived economically. They found that students in higher economic communities tended to do better on these tests than students of lower economic communities, because those of higher economic communities had the resources and materials to be able to do well, whereas the students in lower economic communities did not. Therefore, there was an imbalance in the system. So let me do a survey. If you believe that the college entrance examination scores are fair towards all students, raise your hand. Look around the room. This room is not much different than the common United States statistic, which says that over 50% of parents and students in the test preparation mindset are in agreement that these tests are not fair towards students. They are also not fair towards females. Because of their different cognitive abilities, females tend to not do as well on these tests as men. Stephen Goldberg, the author of an article in the New York Times, says that men tend to score 60 points higher on the SATs than women. But then he goes on to say that women tend to do better in college. If men are doing better on these tests, yet women are doing better in college, then is there really a correlation? There's not. Women are getting denied access into schools and scholarships because of their different cognitive abilities. These tests also show little correlation to collegiate success. A study was done in a college freshman class looking at how students performed on these tests and then looking at how they succeeded in college, success being passing the class and not dropping out. What they found was that many students were dropping out not long after taking these tests, whether they did well on the test or whether they didn't. If these tests are in place to measure scholarly retention, yet they are not doing their jobs because students are dropping out, are they really doing what they're supposed to? They are not. Now, dropout rates could have many catalysts. such as burnout, lack of resources, and lack of time management. These are upper-class students with upper-class responsibilities in their churches, in their communities, in their schools, and in their sports. And they're also trying to apply for colleges and scholarships on top of this. And by adding one more thing to their plate, one more thing to study for week after week, one more thing to keep striving for until they reach the score that they want or until they can't do it anymore, these students are burning out by the time that they reach college. That's why the holistic process is a better process for the college admissions process. By looking at resumes, the college admissions counselor is able to see how the student time manages their time inside of school and outside of school. And they're able to see the leadership opportunities that the student has had in their previous years. By looking at teacher recommendations, the college admissions counselor is able to get a glimpse into what the teacher sees on a day-to-day basis. The teacher is able to say what the student's character is like and what their work ethic is like, which are two very important things in college. And by allowing the students to sit down for an interview, the college admissions counselor is able to see the student face to face and see their face and hear their voice and get to know about them and their aspirations in life and not just look at their name and a score on a piece of paper. Now, while all of these are valid, there are some that believe otherwise. There are some that would say that they should validate these tests, such as Purdue University. Purdue University says that they will not continue to move away from these tests like many other colleges are. They said that because so many people are getting easy A's now, that these tests must be implied. Schools have been giving, the most basic schools and the most basic classes have been giving out easy A's. Yet, while these grades were rising, the test scores were falling, showing that generation after generation, people were getting less and less knowledgeable of the materials that they needed for college. Now, while these tests are evolving, they're evolving in the wrong direction. Many colleges, approximately 16,000 in the past decade, have moved away from requiring these tests because they do not feel as if they best predict success. And what they found from not requiring these tests is that they have gained more students, they have gained more diversity, and they have continued with their success rates. UCLA is one of these major schools that has been a huge push, who's made a huge push towards this new idea of college admissions. The opposing side also says that these tests help with specific collegiate skills, such as time management and the elimination skill. By looking at how the student is supposed to time manage their time to study for these tests and take these tests within their busy schedule, on top of time managing inside of the test with how much time they have per question, it's helping these students for college so that they can look at their test and figure out how long do I have per question so I can get this done in time. And also scheduling classes so they know how they best work whenever they reach that point. And by using the elimination skill, the student can look at the question, then look at the answers, and without thinking much about it, they can have a quicker answer. And by using this, the students can take this on to college so that they can better check their questions and their answers on the test. Now, while these tests do provide a lot of different skills for students for them reaching their collegiate success, they still do not predict success. One needs more than just a pair of hiking boots to climb Mount Everest. They need layers upon layers of warm clothes. They need enough oxygen to last the high altitudes, and they need enough food to last the trip. Similarly, one needs more than just time management and the elimination strategy to do well in college. They need good work ethic, good character, good morale, and they need a lot of persistence to make it through. The opposing side also says that these tests cannot be bypassed because by bypassing these tests, you're placing students who are getting A's and schools such as PCA on the same level as schools that are giving A's to students just for coming in and sitting down. They don't care whether they fall asleep or pay attention. None of it matters, but they still somehow get an A for showing up. That's why they believe that the college admissions test should be there to make an equal playing field. Now, while these tests do not have to be bypassed, they do not have to be used as the main predictors of collegiate success. God has created us all very differently. We are each unique in our own different ways, physically and cognitively. And by trying to fit everyone in the same box, the college admissions test is failing. They are trying to place test takers on the same playing field as people who are better in the classroom, who learn better by doing instead of studying hours and hours and hours. It doesn't show success. The college entrance examination scores are not accurate predictors of college performance. They are discriminatory, they show little correlation to collegiate success, and the holistic process is a better process for these tests. There are many puzzle pieces that make up a person's life. Many puzzle pieces to which the test does not show. So therefore, we must look at the whole idea. The test does not show the work ethic the student has. The test does not show the time management skills that the student has. The test does not show the strategy that the student has. The test does not show the strengths and the weaknesses that the student has. The test does not show the family situations that surround the student while trying to take these tests. The test does not look at the activities that the student was involved in while taking these tests. The college admissions tests do not predict collegiate success. Thank you.